the shift, the awakening shift that happened, I attribute, now looking back, to working with Constellation Work. Now, as a facilitator, I would step into the field and I would then get information. So in order to do that, I had to put Margot to the side and become totally empty. And shamans call it, or in traditional societies, in the shamanic work, it's called becoming an empty flute. So you completely empty yourself out. You become an empty vessel through which life, or in this case, the field of the family system, could operate through in order for me to hear well enough what's needed. Because I don't know what's needed for these people. I don't know what happened 5 generations back. The person often doesn't know what happened 5 generations back, yeah? So I had to develop this ability to empty myself, and the more empty I became, and the less I cared to do good work, and the less I wanted to understand about the family history, the more powerful the work was. And so when I was in the field, getting information out of nothingness space, right? Because when you're in the field, in this empty space, you have to rely on something to give information, and somehow information always came. Surprisingly, it always came, and always the right thing, somehow, to eventually create some kind of a shift for the client and for the family system. So I became really, really good at putting Margot aside, becoming completely empty, and then being in the field and just hearing and knowing what's needed next. And it's always from one moment to the next. I only got one clue, and I had to follow that clue, and that created then a shift. And then I had to wait, and then I got another clue, or some of the people within the field who were representing family members gave a clue, and then there was the next move, and then I had to wait. And so it was like waiting, empty, not knowing, clue, waiting, empty, not knowing, clue. So it became a dance. And I just loved being in there. Didn't have to know anything, everything I had studied, I could forget it all, right? And somehow everything always magically worked out. It was like, this is so cool. But as soon as I stepped out of the field and was back to Margot, right, doing regular life, it was like I was back in doing life where everybody else does life. And eventually got to the point where I said, I don't want to live like that out there. I want to live like this in my life too. I want to not know. I want to live hearing, following, not knowing, hearing, following, not knowing. I want to live in this alive, fully present, magical way to be guided by life and not by Margot, what Margot thinks she should be doing. And so my prayer eventually became 24/7. It ran in the back, inside of me, somewhere. This is what I want. This is what I want. In life, I want to live like this. Now, I had no idea that this prayer would ever be answered, nor did I have any idea what would happen if it actually would be answered. And it got answered one day, and it took it took 4 years at least to kind of get a sense to live like this out there. And I'm still learning, and I will most likely learn forever how to do this out there, living from nothingness out there.